Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Tuesday, which means it's Good Tuesday. Woo! We've got all that good, positive, inspiring news to make you have hope in humanity and the world again. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up stories right before the show. We just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to speak and read live on stream. Let's get into those good news headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on Good Tuesday, the gate to hell is slowly fading out, and that is not necessarily good news. But also, buried Viking fortune unearthed in Norway as coins keep emerging, a huge Viking hoard of treasure.
Yes, and happy Cinco de Mayo! It is Good News Tuesday. Scientists unveil hemp alternative to plastic that can withstand boiling water and stretch to 1,600% of its size. Plus, we're going to talk about bees and all the fun they have.
Those bees having fun. 1,500 beagles find safety after a protest at Wisconsin dog breeding site. Ugh. And London Marathon 26 breaks fundraising records again.
And good news in the sporting world, the Scotty Bonesaw Golf Tour has gone tits up. Live Golf is over, and we'll find out what's going to happen to all the golfers.
And in my culture news, Pulitzer Prize winners 2026, experimental war dramas and Trump chaos.
It's National Teacher Day, and it's Cinco de Mayo, so buy your favorite teacher a margarita. It's May 5th, 2026 on Before Coffee. During the breaks.
Yeah.
Breaks between class. Margarita time.
Imagine you just handing out margaritas during, like, your freaking class. Oh, wrong way.
I just mixed two artificially flavored drinks, like you know these sugar-free. One was ocean water flavored, it said, from Sonic, and the other one was passion fruit, right? I mixed them together, and they tasted just like a mojito.
Nice.
If I would have had the alcohol, I could have passed it up.
Yeah.
Stuff is a blue mojito. I'm gonna start making those blue mojitos. What's in that? I can't tell you because I don't know.
It's a secret.
Anyway,
Tom says margarita pizza, but no, not that.
Margarita pizza.
No, ocean water is
hoagie.
Like it's a brand. They make cranberry juice usually. It's an American brand for juice. Not salt water.
National Hoagie Day. Just
Get your
National
sandwiches
Hoagie
out.
Day. That reminds me of my favorite pun, the best pun from last year that I did. Right? You remember the guy that got acquitted for throwing a sandwich? Remember that guy?
Oh right, yeah.
And
I got so many hate comments on our YouTube channel for that. But how would you feel if you got a sandwich thrown at you? Okay.
I don't know. Depends on what the sandwich was.
Which one? Yeah, which kind? I'd
can
probably be sad because it's a waste of food, mostly. But I would not be filing assault charges.
My pun was Hoagie's Heroes, right? Because there's a Hoagie sandwich and there's a hero sandwich and there's a TV show called Hogan's Heroes, so it was a perfect pun.
We're gonna save them with our sandwiches.
I'm gonna
All right, let's roll our first segue.
There's some way it belongs in the Pun Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, that was brilliant. Hoagie's Heroes. I just, man, I just bask in the glory in my loneliness. I don't care if anybody else cares. I think it's great.
We can do our mid-year Pun Hall of Fame, and you can put it on there.
Well, it's a lot of things today, man. Chipotle trying to capitalize, right?
Is haiku.
Chipotle putting their 2 cents in. Haikus!
Get that math and literature combo here as we start our first story coming out
to 7.
of
Wow. Hey.
Turkmenistan, which is a Central Asian country for anybody who doesn't have good geography. This is from Jenny Gross on De Morgen, Belgium. A gigantic gas crater has been burning in Turkmenistan for decades. Satellite images now indicate that the fire is decreasing in intensity, but the ecological consequences of this are highly uncertain. It is perhaps the most mind-boggling tourist attraction in the world. A roaring fire pit the size of a football field in the middle of an arid desert. Wasn't this caused by... I thought this was also caused by Russia, but maybe not.
No, it's older than that.
It's older than that, okay. The Darvaza crater, better known as the Gate to Hell, lies deep in the remote Central Asian country of Turkmenistan. The crater had been burning for decades. Over the years, the site has grown into a centric attraction for adventurers and a mystery to scientists. Yeah, what started this? How do we stop it? Can we stop it? Where did this come from? Where was I reading? I lost where I was. Oh, there. The pit has even served a backdrop for a promotional video by a Turkmen president. But now the flames of the Gate of Hell seem to be slowly dying out. Infrared images from this year show that the fire is in the gas crater is diminishing. The heat intensity in the flames has dropped by more than 75% over the past 3 years. Oh, that's pretty quick. This is evident from an analysis by Cafeterio, a company that monitors natural gas combustion. At a time when so many fires are raging worldwide, both literally and figuratively, this should be nothing but good news. The Turkmen government has even been promising for years to extinguish the flames, citing environmental damage and dangers to public health. However, the story turns out to be much more complex. But to understand that, let's first look at the origin of the crater. Its origin is shrouded in mystery. According to local legend, aha! I told you, I knew it was the Russians, or the Soviets, I should say. Soviet geologists were drilling for oil in 1960 or 70 when they struck a natural gas field in the Karakum Desert.
Really?
The ground collapsed, creating a massive pit. The geologists set the roof on fire to contain the emission of toxic fumes. So that's the I guess, a legend that I heard. Whether or not that's true or not sure, but that's the legend. They assumed the fire would burn out in a few weeks. More than 5 decades later, however, an underground network of gas tunnels continues to feed the flames. The history has been very big, has been vague, says Rich Beal, a Mongolian-based guide for Koryo tours who claims to have visited the site 30 times. Nobody knows exactly. Yet the attraction is undeniable for some. It's a bit like looking at an erupted volcano, remarks Bale. The Darvaza crater is difficult to access. Foreigners need a visa to enter the former Soviet Republic of Turkmenistan, and then they only receive it with an invitation letter. So they have to message like a government official or something and be like, "Can I please go see the giant crater?" The Turkmen government did not respond for requests for comment. Nevertheless, location about 4-hour drive from the Turkmen capital, Ashgabat, has long attracted adventurers. Visitors can get so close to the well that they would feel the heat of the small flames hitting their face. The crater also serves as the backdrop for an unusual piece of political propaganda. In 2019, the Turkmen president Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedow released footage of himself speeding around the pit in a truck in an attempt to quash rumors of his death. Turkmenistan states that that it's trying to bring the gases leaking from the crater under control. In 25, publication by Turkmen Energy Forum. Hello, Ali. Thank you for following. From a Turkmen Energy Forum, an industry group, the government attributed the decrease in flames to 2 wells it drilled near the crater in 2024 to extract natural gas. According to analysts firm Cafeterio, however, the data suggests that the flames may have already started dying down before the wells were drilled. It is unclear whether natural factors play a role in weakening the fire. That brings another problem to the crater: greenhouse gas emission. Because it's basically burning greenhouse gases. That's what causes it. Data from Carbon Mapper, a non-profit organization based in Pasadena, California, shows that the crater emitting an average of about 1,300 kilograms of methane per hour, which, if anybody's been watching the show for a long time, we've covered methane on the show before. Methane stays longer in the atmosphere. So as a greenhouse gas, it lasts longer. And so it's actually more dangerous than carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. And so
like C303 or something.
Yeah. So it lasts longer and it holds heat for longer. So it's just worse. Mm-hmm. Which is why agriculture is the number one cause of greenhouse gas emissions, because it's mostly methane.
Yeah, methane is harder to unlock. I guess it's locked up tighter than carbon monoxide.
It doesn't disperse as quickly. This is a significant amount. So 1,300 kilograms an hour. That's a significant amount. But thank you for making that clear. Although it is considerably less than the gases released from some major oil and gas fields, clarifies Daniel Cusworth, scientific director at Carbon Mapper. Yeah, but it's the fact that it's not controllable, right? You can close down a major oil or gas field. You can't close this down. It's like impossible to close down. So it's constantly been going since the 70s and 60s. Just that much methane per hour. The flames in the generator convert methane into carbon dioxide. That is a good thing for the planet, after all, in the short term. Methane contributes much more to global warming than carbon dioxide, says Mark Davis, CEO of Capterio. The fire of the gate of hell prevents the methane from escaping in its raw form. Okay, so that's the good thing about it. Carbon Mapper had conducted the final measurements in October 2025. This showed that methane emissions had risen to 1,960 kilograms per hour.
Poisonous.
Well above the average. I mean, we can't breathe methane. Well above the average of 1,300 kilograms between 2022 and 25. As a major natural gas producer, Turkmenistan has one of the highest levels of methane emissions in the world. The International Energy Agency calculated methane emissions from Darvaza site account for about 0.2% of the country's total annual emissions. I guess this is the last paragraph, so I'll just read it. So although the flames are smaller now, that makes little difference to the planet for the time being, because the country itself is already burning methane at a huge cost. When Bill visited the site with the group last November, he had reservations about the pit. I do remember that the fire roared just a little louder during previous visits. Nevertheless, he emphasized that the site remains awe-inspiring, with the flames reaching up to 2 meters high. The heat was so intense, he adds, that his group roasted marshmallows and brewed coffee over a fresh crack in the crater floor. Here's your story.
Oh, okay. I was looking for a video. Yes, I do have a haiku. It goes like this. Fire in the hole, folks. A fading conflagration? Centralia next? Centralia next? That's a question. Centralia is a longer burning fire. You don't know that? Centralia, Pennsylvania has a burning coal fire that has been burning my entire life. It started in 1962 and it's still burning. So that's my reference there.
Very dangerous. That's why you gotta be careful with fire. I mean, I guess in this case it was a good thing they did this, because otherwise there would be a gas leak that nobody knew about just in the middle of the desert. Of course, like, who's out there? But you never know, right? And it could have caused a huge explosion. So, that's what the article also said, right? It's actually good that they set it on fire, because it does turn the methane into carbon dioxide, which is better for the environment. It's not good, but it's better than methane going straight into the environment. Yeah.
This thing would be, they must have a big carbon vacuum cleaner sucking it out as it comes out. That would be the best way.
Okay, our next story. My next story should be shorter, because we're going to talk about
two longer burning fires. Just so you know, I was going to say there's 2 longer burning fires. Yeah, there's a burning mountain in Australia that's been burning for 6,000 years approximately.
Wow.
Not that anybody put a clock on it. And another, Turkey has a 2,500-year-old Yanarta's methane vents. And yeah. So Turkey and Australia have longer fires, and Centralia, Pennsylvania coming in third. So this one's fourth.
I guess this one's fourth, yeah. But it might actually be running out, I guess, is the idea for this article. It might actually be running out. And so it's no longer going to be fourth. It's going to be off the list. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's burning methane.
That's the inspiration.
Burning
that's
methane.
the good news.
I think burning coal just takes longer than burning methane. I think it's what it
Yeah.
is. Centralia is just coal. Coal is just ancient, swamp gas, swamp grass and gas and all that. There's methane in it for sure, right?
Mhm.
It's got everything. It's got all those chemicals.
Okay, our next story is about a giant Viking treasure hoard coming out of Norway. This is by David Nickel on Life in Norway. A routine metal detecting trip has led to one of the most remarkable archaeological discoveries in Norwegian history, with thousands of Viking Age coins uncovered in a field in eastern Norway. The find, made near Reina in Osterdale, is already being described as the largest Viking coin hoard ever discovered in Norway. So far, archaeologists have recovered close to 3,000 silver coins, and the search is still ongoing. Experts believe even more could be hidden beneath the soil. Does this count as mentioning silver?
Pillaging.
This is drawn attention both nationally and internationally. Director General of Cultural Heritage Hanna Guerin called it a national and international event, highlighting the enduring fascination with the Viking Age. The story began on the 10th of April, when two metal detectorists, Rune Steiter and Vegard Sorli, uncovered 19 silver coins in a field. Suspecting they had found something significant, they stopped digging immediately and alerted archaeologists in Innlandet County municipality. That decision proved crucial. Once professionals joined the search, the scale of the find quickly became quite clear. What started as a handful of coins soon turned into dozens, then hundreds. Within days, the number had climbed to the thousands. The hoard dates to late Viking Age, roughly between 980 and 1040. Most of the coins were minted outside Norway, including in England and Germany, reflecting the extensive trade networks in the Viking world. Archaeologist Sven Harald Gullebæk explained that the foreign coins dominated circulation in Norway at the time. That began to change during the reign of Harald Hardrada, who established a national coinage system. Some of the newly discovered coins appear to date back from the transitional period, making the find particularly significant for understanding Norway's economic history. The reason the coins were buried remains a mystery. Archaeologists believe they were originally stored in a pouch or container that had since decayed. Over time, plowing scattered the coins across the field. Such deposits were not unusual during the Viking Age. Wealth was often buried for safekeeping, hidden from thieves or during times of conflict. In some cases, valuables may have been buried as offerings, and if you kill the guy who knows where the chest is, you're never going to find it. Experts suggest the hoard could represent the savings of an individual or family, possibly the equivalent of substantial fortune. Based on later historical comparisons, it may even been enough to purchase a farm. For those involved, the discovery is being described as extraordinary or extraordinary. Archaeologist Maytove. Oh wait, isn't this like Maytova? Maytova. Smithfest. Yes, that's how you would say it in Norway, I believe. Maytova. Said witnessing this coin had just uncovered had been absolutely incredible, adding the find of the scales are something most archaeologists will never experience. The conditions of the coins have also surprised experts. The soil in the area contains little stone, helping preserve the silver pen pieces as well, that some appear almost newly minted. The site, now referred to as the Morstad Hoard, is still under investigation. Archaeologists expect the search to continue for several seasons because they might find actual, settlement finds, not just money, but, oh, we found a pot, or we found somebody's hoe. With possibility that more coins or related discoveries could emerge. Authorities have also issued a clear warning: the exact location should not be visited. Finds of this kind are automatically protected under Norwegian heritage laws, and disturbing the site could damage valuable historical evidence and land you probably in jail. Beyond its size, what makes this discovery so important is that what it reveals about the Viking Age. The mix of foreign and early Norwegian coins offer a snapshot of a society in transition shaped by trade, travel, and political change. It's also a reminder that more than 1,000 years later, Norway fields may still hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. So let's go digging! No, just kidding. It's a very unforgiving work to be a treasure hunter, because you know what you do most of the time? You find nothing. For days and days and days on end. Months and years, nothing.
Make a claim, you may make a claim to their take, right away. That's ours. How is it yours? You didn't dig it up.
all that free labor, right? And then the government comes in and said, "This is now protected." Okay, can we at least like get 3 coins and sell them or something? Like, I want money for all my hard work. I looked for this for 3 years.
Don't forget the guy that was in prison in South America because he didn't want to turn over all of his frickin' treasure to the government, and they had to let him out because he just wouldn't tell them where it was. And what are you gonna do?
We did a story about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he said it didn't exist, and it's tough shit if you tough shit. You guys didn't do the work. You guys just sitting in offices.
Go hire a treasure hunter to find it. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Don't be a treasure hunter, man. It's thankless work, and it's dangerous.
Exactly what I'm saying.
But I guess you're an adventurer. Right? Yeah. All right. So my haiku. Vikings did pillage, stole silver. Oh, sorry. Let's do this again. Vikings did gold and silver. They did steal, but they weren't pirates. What's the difference between Vikings and pirates? I guess the Vikings did a lot of land pillaging, not just on sea pillaging.
Yep. Pirates definitely came in on the docks and then just raided a coastal town. Pirates definitely did that, yeah.
And a lot of pirates were privateers, like our friend Jack Sparrow, the fictional character, was a privateer. He worked for the English government, harassing Spanish galleons and stuff to steal their gold. So yeah. I didn't know you knew the Jack Sparrow lore. Wow, this is crazy. What a drop. What are you talking about? Well, he's not a real person, but I'm just saying that's not a fictional
that's what I'm saying. It's
the Caribbean was basically.
I'm just saying
the Pirates of the Caribbean were the British Navy. That's who they were. They were surrogates for the British Navy. One of them got quite rich. And what was his name? Jean Lafitte got quite rich.
Indeed.
Anyway, that's
of course. Jack Sparrow was also hired to be a slave trader, and then he was like, "I'm good. I'm not doing it." And that's when he really became a pirate because he said, "I'm not selling people, bro." Or I think mate.
The slave trade was outlawed.
People on cargo, mate, is what he says in the movie.
Yeah. And the slave trade was outlawed even in America in like 1820 or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, importing slaves.
Pirates of the Caribbean is in the 1500s, I think. I think that was the golden age of piracy.
Who's the king?
Was it not? George III?
Who's the king?
Maybe.
I thought it was Queen Victoria time. Myself,
no. In the 4th movie, which nobody really likes, but the king does appear in the 4th movie, and he's definitely a man.
Did we spin non sequitur?
Nah, I mean, you started talking about. As usual, you took us somewhere.
We are down the tracks. Hey, I haven't seen this neighborhood before. Wow, this is a new track. Oh, wow, look at that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he was king from 1700s to 1800s. So yeah,
horse farming is.
Slave trade would have been illegal, I guess, during that time. But maybe it wasn't George III. I don't know.
George III was after the Revolutionary War. No, he's during the Revolutionary War. That's right. Man, it's hard to tell. We're not doing Disney for our history now, are we?
No. Sorry, it was George II. This was specifically George II. Okay, so it was George II. I just want to look it up. Our next segue is mixed metaphor.
Pirates of the Caribbean was a ride long before it was a movie. No, at Disney World, Disneyland. I went. That was actually the best. That was the best ride at Disneyland. I thought about Pirates because it had the little robots, like the 1950s robots. You know, just ho yo ho ho ho, and around every corner you got a bunch of pirates. You know,
and then a girl lifting her dress.
I missed that. Possibly.
Yeah, there was a prostitute. I remember there being. Well, I've never been there, but I've seen the ride, the footage of the ride.
Yeah,
there's a prostitute on the street corner.
Unless you went without me. What did we spend?
Mixed metaphor. Oh.
Mixed. All right. Scientists unveil hemp alternative to plastic that can withstand boiling. This is from Good News Network.
More hemp.
Andy Corbley's it's his deal.
Fabrics can't silence us.
Uses CBD. A surprisingly robust yet green alternative to plastic packages has been developed from the hemp plant, an age-old form of the cannabis plant that doesn't get people high. That's right, don't smoke hemp. You're not going to get high. You're going to get sick and probably throw up. You'll get high from the lack of oxygen. That's what you get high from, maybe. The non-toxic plastic alternative is a stretchy thermoplastic that can extend up to 1,600% of its size. The material also has high glass transition temperature, a quality that allows plastics to stay durable when it comes to contact with boiling hot water, according to a study published this week in a journal, Chem Circularity, it says. Very few, if any, plastics made from natural resources have this quality, said study co-author, University of Connecticut professor Gregory Sotzing in a media release. The research team hopes that the cannabidiol, the CBD from the can replace bisphenol A, the synthetic industrial chemical found in today's processed plastics, because bisphenol A is a known endocrine disruptor. That's right, meaning it can disrupt the delicate balance of our hormones. Oh shit.
Endocrine, not endocrine.
What now?
That's you said endocrine.
Endocrine.
Like indoctrination. Endocrine, yeah. I was
endocrine.
Like,
there you go. Yeah.
No indoctrination for you.
Yeah. Yeah, wake me up at 5:30 and see how well I read. Professor Sotzing says the hemp material is suitable for producing transparent plastic films, coatings, and other common materials currently made from petroleum-based materials such as polyethylene, phenolate, PET, which is usually widely used in single-use water bottles, food packaging, and substrates for flexible electronics. These applications require medium to high temperature stability and melt processability, so the material can be formed and shaped, which this team has achieved in a hemp-based polycarbonate for the first time. Co-author Dr. Here we go, another name I can't pronounce. Co-author Dr. Mukarem Kakmak, C-A-K-M-A-K, Kakmak. That's how it's spelled. I would pronounce that Kakmak. It could be Kakmak. Of Purdue University said their work has established CBD-based polycarbonates as sustainable replacements for widely used thermoplastics such as PET. We have developed a rigorous processing science framework that links molecular architecture to melt processability, orientation development, and stretchability without compromising manufacturability. Holy Christ, he put ability in three different words.
A lot of words for it's better than the other stuff and it's easier to make.
Just a review on that sentence, he used the word processability, stretchability, and manufacturability. There you go.
My processy.
Dr. Kakmak, that's his name. Dr. Kakmak explained that the PET requires large quantities of fossil fuels, specifically crude oil and natural gas, which again, natural gas, full of that harmful methane, once discarded, breaks down tiny particles called microplastics that leach chemicals, including PET, into water, air, food, which are linked to inflammation and cell damage. While scientists have been searching for greener alternatives to PET, most polymers made from plants or plant waste lack hemp's glass transition temperature and stretchability are more expensive to produce, especially when oil and gas prices are skyrocketing. Again, I can't wait for the piece of shit in charge of our government to make this illegal so the oil companies stop losing money. But it's good news. It's good news for the rest of the world. We can make plastic out of hemp. We always could. There's just never been the will. Where there's a will, there's a way. Mm-hmm. But now, as we realize the folly of depending on oil for everything, including our plastics, oil has one application in all reality in our entire world, and has lubrication. It has no other purpose. It shouldn't be burning it for fuel. We shouldn't be making plastics out of it. We should leave it in the ground. Anyway, there's your quick story, semi-quick story about hemp and plastic.
Hemp me up.
Story.
Good morning, Alin. Thank you for stopping by. Stopping by the coffee and the cafe. Let's
have a
mix our metaphors
mixed
here.
metaphor.
I'm looking at my metaphor list and trying to mix them together here.
This is a live golf crowd button for you.
This is your hype up song.
We got us a mixed metaphor yet.
Sounds like we're sold down the river in the high weeds.
Yeah.
Here we go, because it's...
Oh my god. What? Click on it.
Of course, we've talked about this before on the channel, which is the idea that Big Fabric was like, oh no! Or the toilet paper or whatever, you know, the paper, Big Paper was like, oh no, hemp is better! We have to make it illegal, weed illegal, so people can't use hemp. We gotta make up reasons why hemp is bad, so it doesn't replace everything we do that is worse for the environment.
Yep. And our next story is good news, and it's about bees. And if we love bees, I love bees. I have pet bees. They're not bumblebees. They're carpenter bees, but I watch them play. That's all they do. They don't seem to be pollinating a whole hell of a lot. They seem to be playing all the time.
You need to throw some wildflower seeds in the yard, and then you'll have plenty of pollinating.
There's wildflowers everywhere. I got wildflowers everywhere. Then the ones they like, even. But they're just playing. They come out. They only come out when it's warm, right? They live in the porch, like they live in the porch. They burrow little holes in the wood. It doesn't do any structural damage because it's not, weight supporting. But although if I do find them in weight supporting, I gotta plug that hole up. Sorry, bees, you can't live there. Anyway, I watch them play, and they want to play with me. They come flying at me and they buzz around in my face. Want to play. They think I'm a bee. I think they think I'm a bee. I think they think I'm
a big bee. Yeah.
They don't think. Yeah. And they just buzz around me. They smack into me and stuff. They're always doing that. Anyway, let's do a story about bees. There's some WDWNT.com. I don't know what's that. Too many letters to be a TV station. But they're basically promoting a Disney movie, which I've seen, which is all about bees, and you should go see it. And we're talking about Disney an awful lot today, aren't we? It's like, whoa, Disney, our new sponsor, Disney. Just kidding. National Geographic's Alice Kennedy from this website, WDWNT.com. National Geographic's new Earth Month show follows the fuzzy insects into the hive and through the world they pollinate with intimate footage that reveals how they live, work together, and what's threatening their future. The two-part documentary is on Disney and Hulu if you want to watch it. You can pirate it. I really don't care. I don't get any money for it. A social media video shows bumblebees playing. Oh no, that's a. Well, let's do it. A social media video shows bumblebees playing. Yes, playing. They aren't just hard workers. They're also enjoying some downtime. It's the first time we've seen insects playing, and scientists believe it's enrichment that doubles the skill refining. Watch it below. Oh, you can't watch it below because there's no video. Anyway, that was it. Holy crap! Once again, the video. I clicked on the wrong link. Let's do this one.
Let's do one where it actually talks about what happens instead of just being like, go watch this video on YouTube. Yeah, I hate those news stories where they're like, just go watch this on YouTube. Okay. Yes.
One more time. The internet let me down here as I start typing. I had two stories. I clicked on the one. Wrong one.
Also, it's almost time to have some time with the baby. So you're hanging out with the baby.
Happy.
Well, I hope the baby's good. Doing it good. Gaining that weight. The baby was kind of underweight a little bit. Gotta gain weight when you're young. The fatter your baby, the better. Well, not too fat, but usually it's impossible for them to get too fat.
We'll do the story. We'll continue the story. This is from Disney. This is from Disney.com, DisneyPlus.com. Be honest. When you hear a bee documentary, you probably picture elegant slow motion flower landings and fascinating facts supporting dramatic music, and you're not wrong. But Secrets of the Bees goes above and beyond those expectations because bees are smart, surprising, social, and not actually out to ruin your picnic. National Geographic Earth Month show follows the fuzzy insects in the hive through the world to pollinate with intimate footage and reveals how they live, work together, and what's threatening their future. According to Dr. Samuel Ramsey, a scientist featured in the documentary, he has some fascinating information about bees. Few scientists have done more of bee health than Dr. Samuel Ramsey, and there's a picture of him. He's like a young-looking guy, an award-winning entomologist and researcher. He's known for his work of the Varroa Mayo and its impact on the honeybee colonies. Now an assistant professor of ecology and of evolutionary biology at the University of Colorado Boulder, he brings years of research and field experience to the conversation. Storytelling is an art form, and when you're telling a story of documentaries, an art form so big they can only manage it with a team. It takes a community of people working together like a hive full of bees. Oh boy, you're going to have a mixed metaphor here. You just got one, right? At its heart, Secrets of the Bees is a documentary that treats the hive less like a honey depository and more like a living city full of relationships, problem solving, and constant decision making. One thing Dr. Ramsey hopes viewers learn is that bees aren't running a single script. I want to highlight the intelligence of bees. Most people think it's as their little robots executing repetitive tasks, but when you see the incredible ways they communicate and interact with the world, your mind will be blown. I'm not even actually mind blown. Like I said, my bees, they fly right up to me and they just hover in my face. I can't tell them apart, by the way. They all look the same to me. They just hover right in my face, looking at, tell me something. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Bees are fascinating. The fascinating thing is people are terrified of them, right? And they never sting. They just don't. They're not interested in stinging you at all. That kills them. It pulls their guts out. Mm-hmm. That's the magic of documentary. It doesn't just teach facts. It serves up small moments that stay with you.
And that's why I love being a documentarian. Got that right, Disney.
The show also widens up. Yeah, Disney makes good document. Not just the ones falsifying things about lemmings. That was back in like the 40s or the 30s or something. Okay, one more. Secrets of Bees doesn't sugarcoat what's happening to bees. Instead, Dr. Ramsey frames the crisis in a surprisingly relatable way. Bees have a hierarchy of needs, and right now their basics are being squeezed out from multiple directions. Honeybees and many wild bee species are under pressure from habitat change, parasites, and chemicals that disrupt how their colonies function. Bees need food, security, and healthy family connections, but right now all three are most important needs under threat. Luckily, Dr. Ramsey shares practical steps anyone can take to help the bee community without becoming a full-time beekeeper. As a community member, you can plant native wildflowers and reduce usage of pesticides in the environment. If we all do our part, we can save the bees. Why do we need to save the bees? Because you need fruit. Actually, all vegetables need to be pollinated, not just fruits. They need, like, corn needs pollinated. Things. They don't produce seeds unless they're pollinated, and the seeds are usually contained inside the fruit that we eat or the vegetable that we eat. Biology can get complex fast. Anyway, that's the fun little bee story. It goes on for quite a while, but what you got to know about bees is that they're. At the end, it says, "How was James Cameron involved in Secrets of the Bees? Why do we care?" Anyway.
Well, it's Disney, right? They're trying to say, "Hey, go watch our show. Go watch the show that we're about to release. And subscribe to Disney Plus or some shit."
We needed a name. We needed a name recognition to be.
Name drop. So, James Cameron loves bees, so you should too.
Yeah, he loves bees. That's right. Damn it, rich producer. Loves it. He loves it. A rich director or whatever. He's a producer too, I'm sure. When you're a director, the next logical step is being a producer, right? Because you don't.
Unless you hate that side of stuff. Yes. The bees of the Titanic. For the bees. Yeah, exactly. Have a mixed metaphor. Sounds like they stirred up sounds like they stirred up the bee disco with a stick. The bee disco. That's not that funny.
All right. Hey, time for another spin. I got a freaking.
Also, it's good to hear that the baby has increased
chicken.
in 28 ounces in one day. The new record beat. 28 ounces one day. Delicious. Delicious baby food. No, it's probably not old enough to eat baby food. I've never had a child. How old do you have I feel like you have to be pretty old as a baby to eat baby food.
6 months.
6 months? Really? Oh, okay. I know you can't drink
Yeah, you
water.
basically
They don't
have
have
formula.
the enzymes
Formula
or
milk.
the function to drink water. They don't know how to extract
drink anything
nutrients
cold.
from water. Yeah.
Can't
be
drink
warm,
anything
too.
really cold. Everything's got to be a nice temperature. Yeah.
Okay, our next segue is Limerick. Wow, you're getting all the poems today. Poet Master Roger. The next story, I have two
Yay.
stories here. The first one is about a beagle rescue in Wisconsin. That's right, huge dog breeding site. Frees a bunch of beagles.
All right. Let me
It's by David
below the
Fisher
video here. So
on AP News coming out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The first beagles removed from a Wisconsin dog breeding and research facility that was the site of a recent protest seemed to know right away that they were safe. They started with an hour or so coming up to us, wanting attention. Some crawled in people's laps. Every single one of them are super sweet. Laura Simmons, president and founder of Big Dog Ranch Rescue, said Sunday on that would have been the 3rd of May. I think they're loving the attention. I just know they know they're safe. Big Dog Ranch Rescue and the Center for Humane Economy negotiated a confidential agreement to purchase the 1,500 dogs for an undisclosed price from Ridgeland Farms, where police used tear gas and pepper spray to repel activists trying to take beagles from the facility last month. Protesters also broke into the facility in March and took 30 dogs. 63 people were referred by the Sheriff's Department to the District Attorney for potential charges related to that break-in. Talks to purchase the animals began months before the April disturbance, and Simmons said her group wasn't connected to the protest. Now, Big Dog Ranch Rescue is working with all partners all over the country to find homes for the 1,000 of the dogs, while the Center for Humane Economy is taking the rest. Simmons said her group has received over 700 adoption applications, but it might take some time before the hounds are ready for their new homes, as the organization screens potential dog parents, moves the animals to shelters around the country, and ensures the beagles are housebroken. Yeah, that's important. You can't just give dogs away because people want them. Some people aren't all good dog owners. The first 300 dogs were taken from Ridgeland on Friday, which was the 1st of May, with more scheduled for removal over the next week. The animal groups have set up a staging area with play yards in Wisconsin where the dogs are being vaccinated, microchipped, spayed or neutered, and prepared for transport, Simmons said. Big Dog Ranch Rescue has already started moving dogs to its location in western Palm Beach County, Florida. The younger dogs will just quicker. The older dogs will take time, Simmons said. A lot of them are more willing to accept love and want to be with people. Ridgeland Farms didn't immediately respond to messages seeking comment. Beagles are the most common breed of dog used for animal testing, primarily because of their smaller size and gentle temperament, Simmons said. A Belgian Malinois is not going to put up with being tested on, being confined in a kennel their whole life, Simmons said on an athletic shepherd dog. Instead of the athletic shepherd dogs commonly used by police and military, beagles are just so trusted and docile and calm and forgiving. They are the most chosen dog for animal testing. So we're going to take one of the sweetest, kindest, most trusted breeds and abuse them? This is wrong. This needs to stop. Well, it did stop. Ridgeland Farm agreed in October to give up its state breeding license as of July 1st as part of a deal to avoid prosecution on felony animal mistreatment charges. The firm had denied mistreating animals, but a special prosecutor determined that Ridgeland Farms was performing eye procedures that violated state veterinary standards. Let's do some eye experiments on the dogs. They don't need to see. About 1,000 activists from across the country came to Ridgeland Farms in the rural village of Blue Mounds, about 25 miles or 40 kilometers southwest of Madison on April 18th, in an attempt to take the beagles. They were met by police who used tear gas, rubber bullets, and pepper spray. The Dane County Sheriff Department said 29 people were arrested and 5 faced felony burglary charges. Activists had filed a federal lawsuit in Wisconsin alleging that police used unnecessary... Yeah, I would say... tear gas and rubber bullets are always unnecessary force, in my opinion. And pepper spray. All three of those things are unnecessary force. I don't care what you're doing, what's happening, or what's going on. Unless they also are shooting you with rubber bullets and pepper spray and tear gas, it's an uneven fight, right? You have all of the chemicals and the weaponry, and they're just like, I'm here to save dogs. I have a leash and a collar. That's all I've got. Bridglin has said that those who try to break in were a violent mob. Yeah, well, you would say that. Somebody who is mistreating animals, who launched an assault on federally licensed research facility. We had a license, not for the thing we were doing, but we technically had a license. Anyways, 15,000 beagles saved from the research facility. And so, that's something to celebrate there. I guess if you find yourself able, maybe hit him up. Get a dog. Get a beagle. Save a beagle. Save the world. Did I read that too fast? Do I need to keep reading? I can't hear you if you're talking, by the way.
Sorry, I was having trouble with the rhyme. There once was a dog who was in jail in a lab that caused them to be frail. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But that dog won't hunt. Now their dungeons are shut. Protesters successfully freed them and he can sail. There you go. That was scary. For
a sailing dog. Yes. Maybe somebody could have a yacht and, adopt one of these dogs and take it sailing. I mean, I didn't know beagles were known for being docile and calm. Maybe one day I'll get a beagle. A beagle dog.
Every limerick I saw.
They're medium-sized.
There once was. Every limerick has to start with that, I think.
All right, let's do my next story. I'll try to read this one slower because it's a shorter story. And it's coming out of the UK. It says London Marathon 2026, breaking its fundraising record again. Maybe, I guess for the second year in a row. The 2026 London Marathon has broken the race's own record as the biggest annual one-day fundraising event in the world, according to organizers. Okay, well, let me know when a third party says it too. We're gonna say, it's like us saying we're the only international game show in the world. Yeah, we're gonna say that because we don't know any other ones, but there could be another one. We've determined we're the best podcast on the internet, according to us. This year's event has raised £87.5 million for charities so far, passing the previous 87.3 million record set last year's race. The final total for 2026 will be announced in September and expected to hit more than £90 million, organizers said. The marathon, which took place in the capital last Sunday, which was the 3rd of May, saw Kenyan runner Sebastian Sawe become the... Oh yeah, we talked about that as well. Actually, that might have been last Sunday, as in like the Sunday before in April. We talked about that, but Sebastian Sawe became the first athlete to break the 2-hour barrier in an official competition to win in a world record 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds. But they also raised a lot of money. Tigst Asifa from Ethiopia broke her own women-only record in 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 41 seconds. This year's edition of the race also broke the Guinness World Record titled for the most finishers in a marathon, with 59,830 people completing the event. Hugh Brashner, chief executive of the London Marathon events, said it was an extraordinary day of world records from elite men and women running such extraordinary times, to the participation of numbers, and now in the fundraising. What I want to know is where they send all this money to. That's what I want. More on the story. Broke my leg during the marathon. Oh, here we go. There's a funny story. Oh, that could be for a Wacky Weird Wednesday, but this is kind of a fun story. A man broke the knitting. They said a lot of records are broken, including the knitting record. That's right. Somebody knit a scarf while running the marathon. A 53-year-old achieved breaking their current world record for knitting the longest scarf while competing the 26.2-mile race. Speaking at the finish line, the former Royal Marine said he wanted to do something bonkers to raise money for charities close to his heart. Fannin, who goes by the name Veteran Knitter on social media, needed to create a scarf more than 3.7 meters or 12.1 feet to break the current record, but ended up with a winning woolen garment measuring 5.59 meters or 18.3 feet. So now that's a huge lead to break. He also completed the course in under the specified 6 hours, finishing in 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 8 seconds while knitting a scarf. That's crazy. I love knitting, and I wondered to my wife if there might be some sort of related world record I could go at, said Fannin. She looked online and saw there was one for running a marathon and simultaneously knitting a scarf. Struck me as a bonkers way to get seen and shed light on good causes I support, added Fannin, who ran on behalf of the Huntington's Disease Association and Reorg, which works with veterans, military, emergency service personnel impacted by the physical and psychological stress of their jobs. I had a ball of yarn in my belt bag and cast my first stitch as soon as I crossed the starting line, he said. Oh, I suddenly went southern. I had no idea how well the scarf was progressing, but tried to change the color of the wool around each new meter in length. So by the time I got about 4 colors going, I realized I must be on target, Fannin added. So the 30-year-old, yeah, then we all talked about Sebastian Saw. We've been talking about Sebastian Sawwave since last week. But there you go. There's I guess the runners choose who they support for the money. But in general, right, that's how much they raise.
All marathon runners can get a sponsor, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. I am going to run the New York Marathon. If you sponsor me, I'll raise money for charity. Your charity.
Yeah.
And put your thing on my back and your phone number and your website link and all that
and
stuff.
And write it off my taxes. Go, hey, I run a marathon and raise money.
Why not? Yep. The taxes are there to be avoided, friends. Okay. Your limerick.
It's funny because I put in our description of our. Wait, look. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Is it time for my limerick? I'm sorry.
Yes, you can do your limerick. Yeah.
Okay. In London town, they held a race. 2-hour record was knocked off its place. They also raised funds, and with knitters did run, all things set a record pace.
Great puns in there, or metaphors about racing. That's very good.
Wow!
Very good.
I know, right?
But what I was gonna say is that it's funny that you said that about taxes, because I actually put in the description of our Twitch channel the rules: no spam, no hate, no AI. We support trans rights, gays' rights, eating the rich, and paying taxes. That's what I put in our description.
Eating the rich.
We support. It's mostly a meme thing, right? It's supposed to be taken seriously, but it's basically to say anybody who doesn't have a good sense of humor and is hateful, they can just leave, right? They don't need to stop by our channel. They can just.
I think our official position is not eating the rich. I don't think it's eating the rich. I think it's feeding them to the polar bears.
That's right.
Feeding them to the polar bears.
I'll update it. Yeah, I'll update
you solve two problems. Right?
Exactly.
Eating the rich, first of all, I don't want to eat a human. I don't know what they ate. I don't know what worms they have, what disease. Leave that to the polar bears. I don't want worms. I don't want rich guys' worms. Who knows what them guys are up to? We already know they're pedophiles. Basically, come to the territory. All right, man, let's read my second story.
Oh, it's great. Rich guys' worms. Yeah, the polar bears need food. Well, they need food, Tommy. All right, roll the segue wheel, hopefully.
What did we...
It's not rolling. Oh my god, why did it break? Oh, there it goes. It's just slow.
We came up with a calculation is there's exactly the same amount of...
rich people as there billionaires or millionaires.
Billionaires. Hell no. Billionaires. Forget billionaires. Forget millionaires. Millionaire ain't even a thing anymore. You're a millionaire now, you're not an upper middle class.
Polar bears eating the rich.
Sweet.
Paying
millionaire
taxes.
isn't even a thing anymore. It's not even impressive. That's
There you
not
go.
even impressive, being a millionaire.
Polar bears eating the rich. What a random.
What do we spend?
Maybe
What do we
should
spend?
make
What do we
we
spend?
spend hypothetical. I'm gonna make all our emotes just polar bears now. I'm just gonna make polar bear emotes, and then we're just eating the rich.
We don't normally
No,
see sports leagues going under in this show, but this is Good News
This one
Newsday, and
deserves
the
it.
Live Golf, the Saudi Bone Saw League has gone under. This is from golf.com, and not like they've lost, like the Saudi Arabians have lost all their money. No, they just decided that throwing good money after bad money is not good, right? Gee, we lost $800 million this month. Maybe we should stop doing this. Okay. Tour Confidential, answering your biggest questions about Live Golf. I'll try to get through this really quick. In a press release last Thursday, Live Golf announced the new board members as it transitions from a foundation launch phase to a diversified multi-partner investment model. Hours later, its bankroller, the Saudi PIF, released its own statement saying PIF has made the decision to fund Live Golf only for the remainder of the 2026 season. Who knows when that ends? I'll probably get in tomorrow, for all we know. The substantial investment required for Live Golf over a long term is no longer consistent with current phase of PIF's investment strategy. Now that you've had a few days to digest this bombshell, and after a roller coaster April for Live Golf, what thought has lingered with you? Anyway, the senior writer for for Golf Magazine have their own questions, and John Sands, the senior writer, says that for all the turmoil, not much has changed. Aside from getting a whole lot richer, I suppose you could say Liv's birth shook the tour out of its complacency, which led to schedule changes and even fatter purses for already extravagantly paid golfers. Beyond that, though, what? Is there now an insatiable demand for team golf? There is not. Is professional golf itself a better product now for fans? I don't see a ton of evidence of that. Another associate news editor at the magazine has his opinion. John Schrock. I think Sens pretty much nailed it. He's talking about the previous guy, John Sens. What will stick with me long after Live either morphs into something else or goes away entirely is that money couldn't buy parts of professional golf that actually resonate. The fans, the tradition, the history, the meaning of the results. Billions of dollars can do a lot, but they can't speed up time. It takes decades for sports leagues to resonate with fans and develop a connection. Live Golf was never going to be able to achieve that goal in a short time frame. As our Michael Bamberger wrote, Live Golf changed the PGA Tour, but not for the better. And I feel like a reckoning is coming now that the tour's great opponent is teetering. James Colgan has this opinion. Good points, gents. My lingering thought was this. We never heard the Don of Live Golf, Yasser Al-Rumyan, say a single word. However, golf history remembers Liv's most powerful Saudi benefactor. It will not remember him for saying a single word about the sport. His Excellency left golf as he entered it, without a peep. I never heard of the guy, so there you go. At Trump Doral this week, several players were asked if the Live members should be welcomed back to the PGA and what types of penalties they should face. If you were a PGA Tour CEO Brian Rolap, how would you handle players' reinstation? We asked these various reporters, and one of them, Sen, says, open a pathway for guys to play their way back on. A point system has some kind of reward for past performances, so that maybe the likes of Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, and Cam Smith can compete in regular tour events, but not elevated events, which they still have to play their way into. The less relevant Live guys would probably just retire rather than face the grind, and that younger guys would be left to try to earn their cards, which is what they'd probably be doing anyway. I think the best part about Live Golf, it got rid of the greedy assholes, and it brought in a lot of younger guys that just wanted to get better. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, these guys play in the minor league, and they got brought up to the major leagues, maybe a little faster, but hey, if they outplay these old fuckers who just went after the dollars, that's fine. That's fine. You guys can just struggle all you want. I did watch, I've been watching Brooks Koepka try to play his way back in the PGA Tour. It's not going well for him. He's a really really good golfer, but I think Liv took a lot out of him. Plus, one thing, they only play 3 days in Liv. They play days in the PGA Tour. That's the whole. Why 3 days? No idea. Anyway, Chirac has this opinion. It's going to have to be a case-by-case basis. Exactly. It's going to be each golfer, just like everything else. You're all independent contractors. You're not part of a team. As Roll-Ups and Jordan Spieth have noted, the PGA Tour extended an offer to Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, and Cameron Smith earlier this year, and it wasn't accepted. So screw them. Screw them. Bye. The next deal shouldn't be as forgiving. Both Spieth and Roll-Up subtly mentioned the lawsuit that DeChambeau is key plaintiff after Liv launched in 2022. DeChambeau is a dumb fuck. He's just a dumb fuck. He has no career now. He's going to have to be exhibition guy, right? Look what I can do with a golf ball. That's what he's going to be, man. The lawsuit, that's the lawsuit the PGA Tour's players had to pay to defend, and the road back for those who signed to sue the tour should be harsher than those who went to live quietly, like Brooks Koepka, who didn't rock the boat. Rahm will be an interesting case. His exodus came at a time when Liv was floundering and gave the league rebel league juice and calcified the two sides' stance in golf civil conflict. That rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I'm not sure there's an easy way to bring either of these big names back with upsetting a big portion of the tour members, but the tour would quickly benefit economically from reintegrating them quickly. As for the rest of Liv's roster, some who resigned their membership, like Patrick Reed, can try to play their way back via the DP World Tour or KFT. Many will disappear with their millions and not even knock on the door of the global home. In all honesty, we're probably talking about 15 to 20 players total that decisions need to be made on. Colgan says, I'll give Bryson, he's talking about Bryson DeChambeau, the guy that sued the PGA. I'd give Bryson a peck. Why? Why would you give him one? Huh? I wouldn't. His presence would single-handedly change the PGA Tour economics, and he's probably the only live golfer for whom it's true. I don't think that's true. Everyone else would be subject to the lengthy and expensive return process through the tour's strategic partners, DP World Tour and KFT, and short-term retirement. Actually, DeChambeau, all he has to do is win a major, and he's got a lifetime exemption to the major. I think he won the U.S. Open one time, so he's got a lifetime exemption, 10-year exemption to the U.S. Open. So he can play in that, and if he wins that, he's back. You know, they have to let him back on. He won the U.S. Open, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, since then, I think so. That's the question. Who should we let back in? If Liv taught us anything, is that the world does not need more professional golf. That's for damn sure. At least not the money these guys think they deserve to be making. Ironically, the tour's real competition for eyeballs these days doesn't come from Liv. It comes from a bunch of YouTube bros producing their own content. That's right. Yes, without 30 million purses and signing bonuses, Liv will cease to be any sort of PGA Tour. It sounds like it's close to a wrap, barring an unforeseen bug. Colgan says, no fat lady is singing, but it sounds like she's warming up. What's the best case scenario? Moving forward for golf is the next question for Liv Golf. Sen says maybe pivot to crypto.
Oh, great.
Says, try to merge with DP World Tour. Try to merge with the DP World Tour. Liv can slinker along with limited funds, but there will almost certainly be talented exodus once the money dries up. Colgan says, I think there's a vision could exist. No, the thing is, hey, take your money, Saudi Arabia. We don't care about your money. You're a cruel regime, and go fuck yourself. That's what they should say. Anyway, let's have a hypothetical about golf. That should be easy to know.
I don't know how, because that whole article is hypotheticals about what people can do in the future, what you should say to Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Literally.
I think it's
yeah,
funny.
I mean, let's be honest here,
is,
right? Golf, for the most part, is a rich sport for rich people, just like tennis. You know, a lot of these people, they'll be fine. Hypothetically, right? They'll be okay. But yeah, just like they said in the article, take your millions that you got from Saudi Arabia and just, I don't know, go live your fucking life. They'll be fine. I'm not worried about the golfers. I don't think golfing
I hope
is
they paid
like...
you up front.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope they paid you up front. I hope they paid you in cash. I hope they paid you in cash. And if they paid you in crypto, you need to fucking cash that right away. Okay? And if you're not going to play golfing again, invest wisely. Again, you can play golf. If you're a good golfer, you can just hustle people. You can just show up at a golf and just hustle people. It's real easy. You pretend you can't play, and then you get them to bet. And that's called a hustle. Lots of golfers do this. Lee Trevino is very famous for this, right? A little golf story.
Yeah.
Lee Trevino is from El Paso, right? He's a famous golfer. He won many majors, but he's Mexican, right? And he used to work as a caddy, and then he was the club pro at a local country club in El Paso. But what the golfers, the rich guys would bring their out-of-town friends to the golf course, and Lee Trevino would caddy for him. And then one of them would break his wrist or hurt himself. Do you mind if my caddy plays? I can't play anymore. And he would just hustle money out of him. Just great shit. Anyway, that was my fun little thing about golf. Hustling people is great. You can't play. You can't even speak English. That's what they said.
Oh, really? Well, it's
playing golf.
nothing better than hustling the racist, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They came to El Paso. They're from, like Boston, New York, these places like, everybody down here is ignorant, that kind of shit.
No, yeah, I've been dealing that with because BTS had a concert in El Paso, and there was what I saw was a lot of microaggressions from people being like, El Paso sucks because they won't leave BTS alone, and then everyone in El Paso was like, that's not us. Those are just out of town people doing that stuff. But for me, it comes off as kind of racist to be like, all those Mexicans don't know how to handle BTS and they don't respect BTS. Racism. It is that exactly. It's a microaggression. Like, why are you saying that specifically about people like El Paso of all places? That was probably happening in every city they go to, but you specifically pointed out as El Paso being the worst place they've gone so far on their tour. Yeah, I see it as completely a microaggression against El Paso.
Actually, golf,
I've gone those microaggressions my entire life, right? Because El Paso is right near the border, and that in itself is treated like you're right next to the border. That means you're lesser than me or something. Like your closeness to Mexico equals your humanness or something. Yeah, it's very, very weird microaggressions for living near the border. Anyways, enough of my trauma. Is that your only story?
My only story, I will point out that golf is a great sport to bet on because there's some sure things out there. Scotty Scheffler making the top 10 is a sure thing. It won't pay a lot, but if you bet $100 and you win $3, it's $3 you didn't have. Anyway.
Go buy yourself a Coca-Cola or something.
Scotty Scheffler's in the field, just bet him you can bet him in the top 5. He's probably going to finish top 5. He's always in the top 10. He's the best golfer. I'm just saying. It's like betting on Tiger Woods. Not to win. They'll bet him to win. He doesn't always win. I don't think he wanted to win. I think Scotty did not want to win this week. I think he did. He did not want to talk to Trump, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, because the winner was Cam Young, and he won by 7 strokes or 8 strokes. It wasn't even close. It's like everybody let him win. It's like, who's taking a bullet this week and has to talk to Trump? Cam Young, I'll do it. And they said, okay, you win. And, they said a private meeting. You win by 8 strokes. Nobody's close. Bye. We're all going to fucking miss short putts all the way through the tournament. We don't have to talk to Trump. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened because nobody fucking likes that guy. Nobody likes him. I'm sorry. I don't know how you can like him. The only people on the internet who like him are bots. So, anyway, let's do this.
Our next segue is sarcasm. And my story, my culture news. My next story is my culture news is coming out of.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there. What'd you spin?
Oh my God, sarcasm.
You're
it's still on the golf.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's still on the golf.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Our next culture story is coming out of Pulitzer Prize winners 2026. Here's the people who won, and I guess things you should go read and stuff. This is from David Morquand and AP on Your News Culture. Pulitzer Prize judges have awarded the fiction prize to Daniel Kraus for Angel Down, a World War I narrative told in one long continuous sentence. The prizes for journalism were dominated by coverage of, unfortunately, the convicted clown. Pulitzer Prize officials have awarded this year's awards from fiction writing to music and investigative reporting. This year's fiction prize went to an author with an historic history of experimenting with genre and language. Daniel Kraus cited for Angel Down, a World War I narrative that unfolds over some 300 pages in one long continuous sentence. Angel Down, whose protagonist is an army private who encounters an angel on the battlefield, was praised as a stylistic tour de France that blends such genres as allegory, magical realism, science fiction into a cohesive whole, told in a single sentence. Krauss has previously written horror and science fiction novels, and has collaborated with filmmakers like George Romero and Guillermo del Toro, whose Oscar-winning The Shape of Water was conceived with Krauss's help. Oh, that's good to know. Bess Wool's Liberation, exploring 1970s feminist consciousness-raising groups, secured the Drama Prize. The play confronts misogyny, homophobia, and explores gender roles. Other literary accolades include Jill Lepore's We the People, A History of the U.S. Constitution, for historian Amanda Valls' Hidden Pleasure, the Schuyler Sisters in an Age of Revolution, in a biography. Oh yeah, the Schuyler Sisters, from famous Hamilton play. I mean, they're real people in real life as well. Ye-Yun Lee's Things in Nature Merely Grow, an account of her two sons' suicides, was recognized for memoir autobiography, while Brian Goldstone's There's No Place for Us, Working and Homelessness in America, won for general nonfiction. The Poetry Prize went to Julian Spar's Ars Poeticas. The Music Award was given to American pianist and composer Gabriela Lina Frank for Picaflor, A Future Myth, and symphonic work composed for the Philadelphia Orchestra, inspired by Andean legend and California wildfires. Elsewhere, coverage of the Convicted Clown administration dominated the Pulitzer Prizes, as the prize, similar to comedy, right? Oh wow, it's so easy. Get an award. It's like Oscar bait. In a way, Pulitzer Prize bait. Let's talk about the most unhinged politician ever. Yeah, give me an award! As the prize committee commented in no uncertain terms on the attempts to limit freedom of reporting. We stand for civil discourse and against censorship, said Pulitzer Prize Administrator Marjorie Miller ahead of the announcements yesterday, which honored coverage of the immigrant crackdown and the enrichment of his allies. Unfortunately, this bears repeating now. As media access to the White House and Pentagon is restricted, free speech is challenged in the streets, and the President of the United States has filed lawsuits for billions of dollars for defamation and malice against multiple print and broadcast media. The prestigious Pulitzer Prize for Public Service Journalism was awarded to the Washington Post. Wow, interesting! I'm sure my dad has words about that. For its in-depth coverage of the chaotic effort to reconstruct U.S. federal bureaucracy. The investigative reporting prize went to the New York Times. Another interesting pick. For its series exposing how Trump exploited the money-making opportunities that come with power, enriching his family and allies. The obvious, we reported on the obvious. This dude's a puppet for Russia and gives all the money to his family and people who lick his boots. Okay? In the local reporting category, the Chicago Tribune was honored for its vivid, muscular prose, reporting how federal immigration agents subjected the Midwestern city to siege-like incursions as part of the crackdown on undocumented migrants. A second prize in the category went to Connecticut Mirror and ProPublica for an investigation into unscrupulous vehicle towing practices. Miami Herald reporter Julie K. Brown received a special citation for her groundbreaking reporting in 2017 and 2018 on the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, long before he became a meme, basically. Her Perversion of Justice series, published nearly a decade ago, revealed how prosecutors shielded Epstein from federal sex trafficking charges when he was first accused of abusing young women, Miller said. The New York Times also won the Breaking News Photography category for Sahir Algora's haunting, sensitive images showing the devastation and starvation in Gaza resulting from the war with Israel, more like the attack by Israel. I don't know why we keep calling it Gaza's war. It wasn't really a war. Reuters news agency received the nod in national reporting category for its coverage of Trump's use of executive power and his supporters' influence to exact vengeance on his foes. And I'm just saying, I don't really I don't consider it a war because I don't really think the Gaza side was ever at the same level at all.
No,
they were shooting
a terrorist
fireworks
attack
back.
More terrorist attacks. Exchanging terrorism.
Yeah. The Associated Press news agency was honored in international reporting category for its reporting on how the U.S. government allowed U.S. businesses to sell surveillance technology to China. The Pulitzer for explanatory reporting went to San Francisco Chronicle for its series on the aftermath of the LA fires, showing how insurers undervalued properties lost to fires, denied homeowner claims, and hampered their efforts to rebuild. Wow. Insurance companies, are we surprised? Reuters scooped the Pulitzer for beat reporting, honored by Committee for Inventive and Revelatory coverage of how Meta knowingly exposed users to scams and AI manipulation so that they could, steal their data probably. Yeah, watch out for scams and AI on any Meta platform. The Pulitzer for breaking news reporting was awarded to the Minnesota Star Tribune for its coverage of a shooting in the back-to-back school mass at a Catholic school that left 2 children dead and 17 wounded. The coverage highlighted the prevalence of gun violence in the U.S. and the limitations of efforts to combat it. The Pulitzer for featuring writing went to Aaron Parsley of Texas Monthly for his account of the Central Texas floods that destroyed his home and killed his nephew. The prize's established newspaper publisher Joseph Pulitzer's will was first awarded in 1917. Winners received $15,000 for winning, and the Public Service Award carries a gold medal. Decisions are made by the Pulitzer Board based on Columbia University in New York. So it's a very American-centric award. That's why a lot of the things that won were about America and what American news coverage was and did. So, you're not going to see a Euronews culture on here as a European organization. But there it is, your winners for not being silenced in a country whose, as we talked about this, I think last week, freedom of speech is going down. So they'll still fighting the fight, even if they're paid by billionaires to keep doing the fighting, I guess. Washington Post.
I'll say my sarcasm for the Washington Post and the New York Times that are no longer newspapers. Washington Post is merely stenographers to Trump. That's all they are anymore. So it's surprising that anybody there can pull a surprise. Oh, what did Trump say today? Let's repeat it and put a headline up there and put his picture up there. And that's all they care about. Every stinking day. All newspapers in this country ought to be ashamed of themselves. The news sources I click on are awful. They're just, oh my God, we got to do this and that, instead of reporting the news.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm being general, but yeah. Yes, my sarcasm. News media is dead in America. And the Pulitzer Prizes ain't going to bring it back by awarding shit. Anyway, that's my sarcasm.
I mean, I was being sarcastic the whole story too.
New York Times puts another Pulitzer Prize on their wall and says, we're a legitimate news source. But another Pulitzer Prize, Washington Post, even though they're complete fascist sycophants, get their prizes. Yay! Is there another story?
Nope.
That's it.
It's culture news, so I usually only do one.
Oh, okay. Hey, we're going to talk about this day in history then. Spinning the wheel.
We're spinning the wheel. Spinning the wheel. We are spinning the wheel. It is.
Or
associate. I have to associate something in history with something else. Oh, that reminds me of this one thing that happened at some point.
All right, let's figure out what happened. This stuff that already happened, we can't do nothing about it. And 1640, King Charles I of England, by the way, dissolved the short parliament, the first parliament to be summoned in 11 years, as he could not figure out what to do with parliament. 1789, at the beginning of the French Revolution, the Estates General met for the first time since 1614 at Versailles and debated the role of the third estate. All that debating didn't get him anywhere, did it? 1809, for her technique of weaving straw with silk, Mary Crees became the first woman to receive a U.S. patent. The process was largely used in the creation of hats and other headwear. Mary Crees.
Hats were invented today. Woo!
Yeah, the first woman to get a U.S. patent in 1809. Created a hat thing. Her name was Mary Crees, K-R-I-E-S. 1813, Danish religious philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, regarded as the founder of existentialist philosophy, was born in Copenhagen. In 1864, Forces commanded by the Generals Ulysses S. Grant and Union Robert E. Lee of the Confederacy engaged in the Battle of the Wilderness near Fredericksburg, Virginia during the American Civil War. Yeah, there's a lot of that happening. 1864. Our ancestor was out of the war by then. He left in 1863. 1904, American baseball pitcher Cy Young registered the first perfect game. No player reaching first base, in other words, of the modern era for the Boston Americans, which are now called the Red Sox, against the Philadelphia Athletics, which are later moved to Kansas City. Then they moved to Oakland. Now they're in Sacramento, and later they're going to be in Las Vegas. The Athletic can't find a home. 1927, English author Virginia Woolf published To the Lighthouse, one of her most successful and accessible experiments in the stream of consciousness style. Virginia Woolf, 1927. That's 99
similar
years
to
ago.
the
1930.
similar to the book we were just talking about, right? The World War I in one long sentence, kind of like a stream of consciousness as well.
In 1931, gunfire broke out at a strike by coal miners in Harlan County, Kentucky, leaving 4 dead. In other words, the thugs hired by the coal company shot some workers dead. Don't just sit there and say, "Ooh, there was gunfire broke out." No, they eventually executed them. Conflict between the workers and mining companies continued throughout the 1930s, resulting in an era being known as Bloody Harlan. Yeah, coal mines. Awful fucking places. 1945, U.S. soldiers and renegade German troops turned back a Waffen SS assault on the stronghold of Tyrol, Austria, where French prisoners were being held by the Nazis, known as the Battle for Castile-Itter. It is thought to be the only time the Americans and Germans fought as allies during World War II. That's crazy. Renegade German troops fighting the SS. That's pretty cool. 1945, while on a picnic in Gerhardt Mountain, Oregon, 6 people were killed by a Japanese balloon bomb as it exploded. There are only deaths by enemy action to occur in the continental United States during World War II. And of course, you killed 6 people at a picnic. That isn't exactly war, is it? 1960, Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev told the Supreme Soviet USSR that the U.S. spy plane piloted by Francis Gary Powers, a U-2, had been shot down May 1st over the Soviet Union. Khrushchev referred to the flight as an aggressive act by the United States. You're the one that shot it down. We were just spying on you. You spy on us, we spy on you. It's a game. Didn't you read Mad Magazine, Spy versus Spy? He's 61, first entered space. He left Earth. And first American, actually, the first U.S. astronaut to travel in space. 15-minute suborbital flight on Freedom 7 spacecraft. He was free for 15 minutes and then he came plunging back to Earth. 1973, American Racehorse Secretariat won the Kentucky Derby en route to the Crown. It also included the Preakness Stakes and Belmont Stakes. Secretariat was the first Triple Crown winner, I believe, in 30 years. 1981, Bobby Sands, an officer at the Irish Republican Army, IRA, died during a hunger strike while in prison. 1980, Adele was born, English pop singer whose soulful and admitted voice, traditionally crafted songs made her with a broadly popular performance over a generation. Again, yeah. A singer. Happy birthday to Adele. She's born in 1988. That makes her barely older than you. Think about that. She's only 38 today. Clifton Keith Hillgrass died in Nebraska. He was the creator of popular series literary known as Cliff Notes. The guy who got you through college. Died day 2001. Way to go! He read all them articles and said, hey, I'll just sum them up for the stupid people. Can't figure out what metaphors are. What? That's not really happening, is it? No, man, it's a metaphor. Oh, okay. 1862. What is that? It's Cinco de Mayo. That's right. Mexican victory in the Battle of Puebla. On this day in 1862, Mexico repelled the French forces of Napoleon III. Yeah, the second sequel to Napoleon is nowhere near as successful as his great uncle. At the Battle of Puebla. A victory that became symbol of resistance to foreign domination is now celebrated as a national holiday, Cinco de Mayo. Book your seats now at that Mexican restaurant. It's going to be crowded. Our feature biography today is Karl Marx. Yes, everybody's favorite Marxist, the original Marxist, Karl. German philosopher, born May 5th, 1818 in Trier, Germany. So another thing to celebrate, Marx's birthday. He died March 14th, 1883 at the age of 64 in London. Our other fun little birthdays today, besides Karl Marx, 1914, American actor Tyrone Power. Tammy Wynette, Stand By Your Man. Tammy Wynette, American singer. 1942, Stand By Your Man. Anyway, that's my steel guitar impersonation. We did Adele's birthday. American scumbag singer Chris Brown's birthday. So he's turning 37. He's 1 year younger than Adele. Of course, he's known for
too long.
I don't know anything he ever did. I don't know anything Chris Brown did except assault Rihanna, and that's what I call him, a piece of shit thug. That's who he is.
Yeah, also,
I think
he's just a dancer who can't
sing.
No, that's what he's just famous for being a good dancer. His music sucks, but at least he can dance really good. He can beat me all he wants because he can dance really good. That's all that is, yeah.
Right. Apparently not in prison for some reason. Anyway, National Teacher Appreciation Day. We did that. Cinco de Mayo. National Astronaut Day because Alan Shepard went into space. It's National Silence the Shame Day, and it shows me a butterfly. I'm not ashamed of butterflies. I don't know why you should be. Mm-hmm. It's National Hoagie Day. That big family. Hoagie is just another name for like a hero sandwich or a submarine sandwich. They're kind of the same thing. National Cartoonist Day. I'm not sure why that. Maybe there was a cartoon that happened today. National Chipotle Day. Chipotle, a restaurant trying to capitalize on Cinco de Mayo. National Foster Care Day. So take your foster kid for some Mexican food today. So that's everything. Our haikus, our limericks, our mispronunciations, everything for our Tuesday. Good news. Good Tuesday News Day. I can't say it right. Saying it wrong is saying it right. Good Tuesday News Day on Tuesday, May 5th, on Before Chipotle, hoagies, and basically everything that Mexican restaurants will serve you today. Yikes.
Well, of course, this is a very easy associate for me because I worked at Chipotle for like 2 years or something.
Hey.
Not consecutively, but in different instances at different restaurants. And yeah, it was nice. The people were great. I really enjoyed closing for Chipotle. Not, unfortunately, I'm a attractive woman. I mean, not to have a big head or anything, but they always wanted me to be at the front of the house. But I don't want to be at the front of the house. I don't want to talk to anybody. So the second time I worked at Chipotle, I basically said, I'll work for you if you let me do closing, because at least I get half of my 8 hours I work is me talking to nobody and just cleaning.
Right. Just let me put my head down and work. Yeah.
Exactly.
All work does is distract me from getting my shit done. All that talking just distracts me from getting my shit done so I can go home, right? It's like, you think work is my life. I think opposite of that. Anyway, that's it's always been my...
It was nice. I was happy to work
like,
there because I was able to raise money to move out of the country forever. So that's what I did.
Yeah. Okay, let's have us... what day it is today. Then we'll get on with the... Oh, I was up the window.
Yes, our international observances. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Let's see, our other international observances today. It is World Portuguese Language Day. That's right. One of those forgotten European languages. That's right. It is a European language. The day, which is funny because it's also Cinco de Mayo. So Cinco de Mayo, and it's like, hey, Yay, Portuguese! It was officially established in 2000 by the Community of Portuguese-speaking countries for UNESCO, and it brings together all the people who speak Portuguese and the foundation of their identity. So yeah, including Brazil. It's not only one of the most widespread languages in the world, with more than 265 million speakers spread through all continents, but also the most widely spoken language in the southern hemisphere. Yeah, that's right, not Spanish, but Portuguese. Portuguese remains today a major language of international communication.
Portugal. You want to know the country Portuguese?
Go for it.
Besides Brazil, Angola, of course, Portugal, Mozambique, Guinea-Bissau, Cape Verde, Sao Tome, Principe,
a lot of African countries,
Guinea, and East Timor. And
don't forget East Timor.
Yeah. Of course, Brazil, one of the most populous countries in the world. Since Brazil has some.
Oh yeah, East Timor is very tiny.
Oh, 200 million. 200 million. 200 million people in Brazil all speak Portuguese. That's a big chunk of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. But that is our show for today, our Good Tues News Day. I hope you enjoyed the mostly positive attitude. I know we got a little cynical in there, but what's a Good Tues News Day without us being a little cynical? And we will see you tomorrow for some Wacky and Weird Wednesday, in which we will cover all the weird and wacky news that we could find happening since last week. Thank you, everyone who was here for the live stream. If you're not already following us on Twitch or subscribe to us on YouTube, please do those things because it makes us feel good. And don't you want to make people feel good? I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that. When you make people feel good, you make yourself feel good. You spread the positive energy around. So thank you, everyone who's already following and already subscribed. Turn on those notifications so you know when we go live or post a video. And thank you to all our Before Coffee supporters on Patreon. Here is our Mexican celebration mic drop moment. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. Get the maracas out.
Quick, down and dirty.
Welcome back to CBS 19 News.
Welcome to the most, a lot of holidays are just
on May 5th. You may think it's Mexico's independence
taken over by getting drunk. Let's get drunk.
CBS 19's Eli Creel breaks down what Cinco de Mayo really commemorates.
In the United States,
Cinco de Mayo, also known as
days,
the Battle of
get
Puebla,
drunk
isn't
for
about
May.
Mexico's independence. Instead, it marks a major victory over
You have to do this every
French
year for
forces
people.
led by
Yeah, well, I mean,
Ignacio
there's
Zaragoza.
people who weren't born the last
After Mexico's
time
Civil War,
they
the
covered it, you
country
know?
was heavily in
Every
debt to
year.
foreign powers, including France under
General Zaragoza, there's a major
take that, Napoleon.
El Paso, Zaragoza.
Mexican forces used the terrain around
Of course, the
Puebla
Mexicans
Napoleon
at this
III.
point were a
successfully
large
stopping the
majority of
French
them were
army.
Spanish descendants as well, right? They
The
weren't
Mexican
just
president at
native
the time
people.
declared Cinco de Mayo a national holiday. But interestingly,
People from
it's
Mexico are
not an
mestizos.
official
They're mixed
holiday
race.
in Mexico today,
Almost.
and it's actually
I
celebrated
mean, Mexicans
more
literally
broadly in the
means
United
mixed.
States.
Ignacio Zaragoza was the
Right.
one that led that battle for Mexico, and he was actually a Texas native. That is the reason why.
That's
it
right,
is
Texas was
important in
stolen
Texas, because
from Mexico.
it was a
I'll always
Texan
stand
that
by
went out
that.
there and helped fight this battle. So that's the reason why it is celebrated around Texas more often. than
Illegal
it is
seizure of
anywhere else.
land.
It's not even celebrated that much in Mexico.
No, it
From an
isn't.
interview
It's
last year with
definitely like
organizers
a
of
To be fair,
border
Mexico isn't doing
celebration.
anything.
Texas.
Yeah.
This year, they're
To
gearing
be
up for
fair,
their
to be
11th
fair,
annual
Mexico
event
didn't
on
have a
Saturday.
real
Over
great
time,
government
Cinco
in
de
those
Mayo has
days. It
become a
wasn't.
symbol of
It's no big
Mexican
honor to
unity
be
and
part of
pride,
Mexico.
highlighting
Nobody's
the
ever
deep
had a great
historical
government, in
connection
my
between
opinion.
Texas
The
and
bar is so
Mexico.
low.
Reporting in studio, I'm Nayeli
Basically
Carrillo.
on the frontier. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.